What's going on, guys? I have been flying the Avata now for just over a month, and in today's video I want to give you or tell you the top 5 things that I do not like about the Avata. That's right, the Avata has some great positive things going for it, but there are 5 things that I just do not like about the Avata, and we're going to address those today, so stick around. All right, so let's get started with the first item, the first thing on my agenda, 5 things that I do not like about the Avata. And number 1 is the battery recharge time. These batteries take a heck of a long time to charge up. I've tried so many different power adapters, different ways of charging, and it just takes quite a while. I just recently did a review on the Blue Yeti power bank, and that USB-C is at 100 watts, and still when you're out in the field, they just feel like they take forever to charge. With the FPV drone, I felt like I was charging a lot faster. In fact, I know I am charging a lot faster because I was just leveraging it. So my first gripe was the battery. My second biggest opportunity, I think, about the Avata is the camera. Now, is the camera a big improvement from the FPV drone? Absolutely, hands down. But is the Avata camera the best camera that can be on there? Absolutely not. I actually still prefer GoPro footage and the way that the GoPro camera looks. I think dynamic range is the best thing. The biggest struggle with the Avata, in my opinion, is that it doesn't know or it doesn't adjust fast enough, and there's not enough dynamic range. Whether you're shooting in Cine-like or normal, doesn't really matter. When you have some dark areas, the shadows are still essentially crushed while the sky might be perfectly exposed or just slightly overexposed. And then vice versa, when you're in like well-lit areas and you go into a darker area, there is a slower transition for it to kind of balance itself. I've tried all different settings. I've tried having my shutter locked at the appropriate frame rate with ISO auto, and on the contrary, I've also had my ISO at 100 and then with a variable shutter, and it doesn't seem to help. I think the camera is still an opportunity. And I'll show you today some footage flying at this location with a GoPro Hero 8, which in my opinion, the GoPro Hero 8 still looks hands down way better than the Avata. So finally, the third gripe I have about this camera, and opportunity number 3 for the Avata, is that it doesn't shoot 4K 30 or even 4K 24. Now, I do understand that you have that one lens, and the one lens is what's providing you your image transmission back to your goggles, and it's also your camera, so it can't go any lower than 50 frames per second. However, the biggest opportunity that I see with this is that it makes it really difficult when editing your footage. If you look at some of my past videos, and I'm still trying to kind of figure this out, how do you mix frame rates? How do you drop 60 frames per second, or even 50 at that matter, the lowest frames per second that the Avata shoots, and drop it onto a 30 frames per second timeline? That's how I shoot. Now, the obvious thing to do is to take that 60 frames per second and slow it down, and it'll match 30 frames, but then you have some really slow footage. And with FPV, I like the fast-paced footage with all that motion blur, so I don't want to really slow it down. So 60 frames per second for me is kind of useless. Now, when you ramp it up to 200%, you are skipping frames, and because you're skipping frames, you get to see those jitters. You actually notice, and this is probably for us enthusiasts and crazy heads that are into the creative world. A normal person, I'm sure they wouldn't even notice it, but I do notice it, and I hate it. I hate that, and I don't know how to get away or how to fix that. If you know how to fix it, drop it in the comments below. I'll be interested in learning how to resolve that matter. But 60 frames per second sped up to 200%, it's too stuttery in my opinion. Now the number four, the fourth opportunity, and I said I was gonna discuss 5, but number 4 on the Avata that I really dislike is if you are an FPV owner. If you are an FPV owner and you bought the Avata as a standalone, you're thinking, hey, guess what? I can save some money by using my V2 goggles and my standard RC that came with the FPV drone. And that is true, right? You could use both. But when you're switching from the Avata to the FPV drone, guess what? If you haven't experienced this already, you just can't bind. You just can't hold the power button on all these devices and bind from an FPV drone to the Avata, vice versa. You actually have to connect your phone. You have to connect either your Android phone or you have to connect your iPhone to it via the goggles, go onto the Fly app, because it's going to install a firmware update. I think that, you know, the remote is probably, or even the goggles, is probably the opportunity where it doesn't understand. And of course, there isn't any memory on these devices, so it can't remember these two devices. But sometimes when you're out in the field and you forget your, your cable, your lightning cable for an iPhone, in this case, I use an iPhone, it's very annoying because you're stuck. You can't switch vice versa. You gotta go on the app and you have to install that firmware. It takes about a minute, but it's just very, very annoying. All right, opportunity number 5, and finally the last one on my list, and that is the agility and strength of the Avata. In my opinion, this drone needs a little bit more agility. The motors are too weak, and I often find myself going too slow, and not because of my angle pitch. I mean, I've flown this thing at 40 degrees angle pitch, and I still feel like I'm going just too slow and I don't have the agility or the aggressiveness, especially if I need to kind of punch out of something pretty quick. I don't feel as confident with the Avata. Now, I know it's, use case is not those aggressive flights, but I think that they could have done a little bit better with those motors, is to make it a little bit stronger. And I am looking into those motors that, other pilots have modified the Avata with, and I'm sure that's gonna make a difference. However, I'm a little leery about doing that just now because I don't know, the long-term effects. Will that burn out my ESC on the Avata? Who knows? But, in the long term, we will know the side effects of those motors, and then I might go ahead and do it if there's no downside for it. All right, so that concludes my 30-day review and 5 things that I dislike of the Avata after owning the quad for 30 days. The Avata is a really good Cinewhoop in my opinion. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. It's a tool and there's a use for it. You just have to be very smart and strategic on how you use it and the environment in which you use it. Today I flew it along this creek, along this abandoned building here without any problem. I was for the most part at a 35-degree angle for my pitch, and nothing really happened. Did I do any aggressive yaw maneuvers? No, right? I banked very slowly, but from what you're seeing on YouTube, some guys are flying this thing relatively soft, right, without that crazy yaw maneuvers, and they're still falling from the sky. Is it pilot error? That's still something that's out there in question. DJI hasn't announced or made any official sort of statement. But I don't want to make this video a little, too long. That's it, guys. Those are my 5 flaws, or the 5 things that I dislike about the Avata. Stay tuned for the next adventure, and I'm going to discuss 5 things, or perhaps even 10 things. I think I have 10 things that I truly love about the Avata 30 days in. Thank you for watching. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below in the comment section. I'll be there, answering and responding back to all of you. I appreciate all the support that I've been receiving. And until next time, guys, peace.